Okay, welcome to week 2, and I'm making this video right now just as a special way to have you guys look at the discussion area because the instructions look complicated, but they're really not. There's a couple of ways to get to discussion. You can either go to week 2 here from our class, which will take you to the module screen. And then, of course, we have discussion week 2 here. You just click on the noun clauses in songs. So this is what the instructions look like for week 2 for the noun clauses and songs. And basically what the instructions tell you to do is that you're going to be assigned a group. And you find your group based on your last name. So as you can see, group 1 here has last names starting with A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. And group 2 has H, I, J, K. And group 3 is L, because we have a lot of people with the last name L there. Group 4 is M and N. Group 5 is O and P. Group 6 is ST. And group 7 is the rest of the alphabet. Now, each of these groups has a particular song that you need to listen to. These songs are really well known for their use of noun clauses. So let's go back up to the instructions here and take a look. It says for week 2, you're going to be assigned a song based on your last name. You need to have 3 noun clauses that you contribute to your group. Now, each person in your group cannot contribute the same noun clause that you do. So if you post early, you get to choose which 3 noun clauses from the song that you're going to put into the group. But if you post really late, then a lot of the noun clauses in your songs might be taken. So you really should post early so you get as more choices as you possibly can. Okay, once you write your 3 noun clauses that you found in your song, you have to identify what kind of noun clause it was. So in number 2 here, I give you about 5 or 6 different ways that you can say what that noun clause. Perhaps it was a noun clause with a WH word, or it was a noun clause having whether or if, or one that's followed by infinitives, or ones that have that, or that, which is optional or deleted, or noun clauses in reported speech. So to give you an example, let me just use myself. So my last name starts with D. So I would find which group I would be in, which happens to be number 1 because there's my D. And what I would do is my song is I Believe I Can Fly. So what I would do is I would click on the YouTube video for that and listen. And then I would just write notes on a piece of paper for the 3 noun clauses that I could identify. And then once I do that and I finish listening to the song, I'll come down here where I have made a discussion thread for each of the groups. You can see that depending on which group you're in, that's where you're going to post your 3 noun clauses. So since I was group 1, you can see that there's 7 here. Since I was group 1, I would come in here and reply and post my 3. Okay, I would identify the song and I would identify my 3 noun clauses. So let me come back up here to the first group so I can listen to the song, and my song is I Believe I Can Fly. So I would listen to it and I'd write down any noun clauses I can identify. Now, all of the songs have the lyrics. So I'm just going to try to do one just for the example here. And the funny thing here, look at the title. You see what the title says? The title says, I Believe I Can Fly. Well, that's a noun clause right there, isn't it? Just the title itself is a noun clause. It's followed by the verb believe, and believe has a direct object. The direct object can be followed by a noun clause, which is I can fly, right? Because I can fly is itself a noun clause followed by the verb believe, which is one of those verbs that noun clauses follow. All right, so that would be number 1 that I would put in there. I believe I can fly. So I'm going to write that down on a piece of paper so I remember it. And then I'd keep listening to the song. Now I look at the very first sentence in the next part of this song, and it says, I used to think that I could not go on. Well, here we know that we have a modal, used to, and then we have the verb think. And we know noun clauses can follow think and a modal here. And here we have a that noun clause that follows. I used to think, and then the noun clause is that I could not go on. So I would write that one down. And then, of course, I'd find one more because you're supposed to have 3. And then I would compost in my group 1 here. Remember, hit the reply that belongs to your group. So I would hit reply, and I would say I'm already identified because my name's here, and I'm going to post my song, I Believe I Can Fly. And then I'm just going to say number 1 is, again, I believe I can fly because that's the noun clause. And the type of noun clause that is, so the type of noun clause that is it is a that clause. But in this particular clause, that is optional, right? I could say, I believe that I can fly, or because it's followed by the verb believe, I can delete that. I can just say, I believe I can fly. But really it is a that noun clause, okay? And then the second one, that one was I used to think that life could not go on. And this particular noun clause is followed by the verb think. It has a modal, used to, and then think. And then think again has an object, which is a noun clause, and the noun clause is life could not go on, right? And in this case, they did include the that. We still don't have to. I used to think life could not go on, but in the lyrics, it did include that this time. So this is a that noun clause. And then, of course, I'd go and look at one more, but I'm not going to, and I would try to find one that's different. I might try one that has it plus be plus an adjective that clause, or I might find one that has a whether or if, or one with a WH word or something else like that, just to make it more interesting. Okay, so I hope that this has helped you a little bit, and once you're done with that, you're going to post your reply. I'm going to delete this because since I'm not a student, I shouldn't be in this group. Okay, so hopefully this helped, and I will see you online. Have a great week.